Welcome to another episode of Exposed TV. The Streets is Talking, and today the Streets is Talking. We're actually congratulating Dr. Umar Johnson. Looks like he has saved the school for now. That's right, he has made payment arrangements with the school, with the city of Delaware, and maybe also the IRS, because we know he has some tax issues. So it looks like Dr. Umar Johnson has saved the school. And you know, he had to go online and rub it in our faces. Yes, I was one of the guys that said he'll never make it, it'll never get done, but it looks like the school has been saved from auction. So let's get into it. Let's see what he has to say. Before that, also, there's a candid conversation about, is Dr. Umar Johnson actually the right person to run the school? I mean, he's the spokesperson for the school, it's his school and everything, but what about the curriculum? What about what type of teachers are coming in there? I mean, he's gung-ho about getting the money, but is he gung-ho about getting some help?
Talk, let them say whatever they want to say, but when you pull up for the grand opening, you're going to talk your ish, family. You're going to talk your ish. No, we don't have a lot of work to do. You don't know what you're talking about. Leave that up to us. The reason the tiles are missing is because the electric was up there. The plumbing was up there. The HVAC was up there. That's why the tiles is missing. And the audio visual are going to be up there. All we got to do is put the tiles back. But y'all keep listening to these goofy ass YouTubian struggle streamers. Y'all keep listening to these goofy ass YouTubian struggle streamers who be feeding y'all a whole bunch of stuff. But guess what? I want you to keep listening to them. Go ahead and keep listening to the struggle streams. Keep listening to the struggle streams. Keep listening to the YouTubian struggle streamers. Keep listening to them struggle streamers. We got this. Me and my FDMG donors, we got this. Me and my FDMG donors, we got this. You want the YouTubian struggle streamers? You keep listening to the YouTubian struggle streamers. We got this. We got this. Y'all can do whatever y'all need to do, but we got this. We got this.
Now, as you can see, he's definitely celebrating. And I have to say, you know, with all the doubt that I had about this, congratulations. You know, congratulations is in order. Now, with this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into a candid conversation, okay, about, is Dr. Umar the right person for the job? I mean, based off his history, you know what I'm saying, all the scandals that's been going on YouTube and things like that, is he actually the right person for the job? Now, even though he might be qualified, but is he the right person for the job? Let's get into it.
Bringing him up today is because, according to my sources, and these are internet sources, fairly reliable ones, but I haven't directly contacted the state of Delaware, so I can't say first person that this is accurate. But based on the sources I've seen in the documents they provided, it seems that Dr. Umar has entered a payment plan with the state of Delaware. It seems that his school is no longer on the auction list, and it seems that FDMG lives another day. Thoughts, reactions. It's breaking news. So thoughts, reactions.
Congrats to the brother. You know, I hope the school opens.
I love the effort. I'm just waiting for the school to open, and I look forward to the day that it does open. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a beautiful idea, especially when we talk about just passing on history and legacy, and those names alone being attached to the school is a part of history and our legacy. So I just hope that at some point we do get an opening of the school so that kids can go in there and be educated.
You know, I will say one thing though. As a person who's like works in education,
Yeah.
and has been in that field my entire life. I started teaching when I was like 22. You know what I mean? I think it's really important for us as a public to inform ourselves on what is required to provide our children with the type of education that allow them to have a sense of self, a sense of culture, a sense of history and academic success. And there's certain things you can look for in people, organizations, et cetera, that would indicate to you that they have the capacity to fully operate a school in a way that would make children well. And I would say, if when you look critically at those individuals or those proposals, and they don't show any indication that they have the capacity as far as pedagogically, structurally, the things you need to operate a school with those who will inherit the earth. If there's something that says, ooh, that don't seem like they got that right, I would implore you to not send your child there. And I would implore you to not have expectations that said structure would actually open or operate.
Can I ask a question real quick to both of you guys? You guys doctorates, you guys are, you've been through years, decades of schooling and education and have passed down teachings. Is Dr. Umar doing a disservice by trying to do this all on his own? Is there a place where he could try to get some other people in who are well more informed on how to build and give the infrastructure needed? Like the meaning in what he's trying to do is commendable, but do you think he's doing a disservice? Because at this point, for a lot of people, it just looks like a sham. If we're being honest, it looks like you're passing around the plate a little bit too much.
And that's an interesting question. And I just want to read one of the comments from Jamila here, who said, and I tend to agree with her. She said, "We haven't seen anything to make us distrust Dr. Umar. Believe him and support him until you have a tangible reason to do otherwise." Bill the Bunny asked me a question similar to what you're asking, Amani, which was, I don't mean to be messy, but Dr. Hill, I believe you are a donor. If I remember an interview you did with Dr. Umar on the Griot days, how do you feel? I feel like,
Oh my God. I just won $60,000 for my car crash from this app from my phone. I don't know if you could.
I'm looking forward to the school opening. I'm looking forward to him getting the support and the resources he needs for it to happen, which speaks to Amani's question, which is, what would it look like to have an infrastructure in place to make it happen? I think, like many of us who operate in the space of pundit, public intellectual, scholar, whatever title we have, many of us work in isolation, and we're encouraged to work in isolation. And because many of the people who support us fervently because of the work we do as individuals, we start building our empires and our silos individually. And so it's like, if somebody believes in FDMG, that's Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. If people believe in FDMG because they believe in Dr. Umar's vision and his work, then they want Dr. Umar to build a school. Now, if I'm Dr. Umar, what I would do is what he did, which is marshal the resources and try to build the school. The question is the person who has the intellectual vision and the political vision the person to actually do the day-to-day execution of the vision? And I think sometimes we put more on our shoulders than we can carry. I'm not saying that's Umar's case. I don't know Dr. Umar's case. I've spoken to him about the school many years ago. I've supported the school. I funded the school or donated to the school. I'm not saying, I don't know his infrastructure, so I don't want to speak to it. But what it looks like from the outside is that maybe he could use more people to volunteer their time, more people, because money's one piece of it, but also what would it look like to have someone who's doing the day-to-day while he's traveling the world, giving these brilliant talks, these brilliant speeches? What would it look like for someone else to be speaking to the state of Delaware? What would it be like for somebody else to make sure that they don't try to cut a backdoor deal to take his property, as he's alleging? What would it look like for someone to be recruiting teachers or developing curriculum? Again, I'm not saying he doesn't have those things in place. I don't know, but I've never heard him talk about that piece of it because he's working so hard to raise the money and build the school. And securing that building is no small thing. Mm-hmm. And I've been to that campus. I've walked in those doors. I've seen that school. That is a real thing. And it's not a small thing. So I respect that. I think maybe getting more help is something that all of us could do. Mm-hmm. and it might serve us in the end. So I don't have a direct answer to your question in terms of whether it's true in his case, but I suspect that if he's like every other person I know, including the two people up here who I'm talking to, and myself, we could all probably benefit from delegating a little bit more. That's my take. Chris, what do you think?
No, I love that response. I think you're right. And bro, I think that marshaling the right folks and having the right team and having the right structure could bring the vision to fruition for people who want to send their kids to that kind of school. You know, the thing about it is, right? When you're marshaling resources and the only resources that you're perpetually marshaling is financial, it leaves people to think that that's your only interest, right? So if it's like, there's like, yo, I need y'all to send some money. I need y'all to send some money. Bet, bro, sent. But I'm not hearing the same energy around, yo, I need y'all to send, if you're interested in school leadership, if you have an expertise in this, right? So like, there's been no indication, like to Mark's like, yo, you need to have these things in place. And I would agree. But I think that there should be an equal amount of public request for support in all the things, so you can show us that it's not just about that one thing.
I agree with him totally, because it looks like Umar Johnson is just focused on the money, on the money, on the money, on the money. And I guess that would be a way to attack the situation by saying, listen, we got to get the school built. We got to get everything built and have the structures in place. But what outside of that? When you say grand opening, what type of grand opening are you going to have when you don't have a curriculum? What type of grand opening are you going to have? We don't have an actual schedule where, you know, this school semester, the kids are going to be coming over here. You know what I mean? Because we don't know the teachers. We don't know the infrastructure. When I say the infrastructure, I'm talking about what's the curriculum really all about? And does it meet the requirements to graduate? You see what I mean? And again, he's doing a one-man show. Well, he can't just teach all these kids. He's got to have some type of help. And just as loud as he's saying, donate, 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 why isn't he saying, does anybody know any school teachers? Does anybody know a curriculum we can use? You see what I'm saying? All these things have to come in place before that building can even open. You got to pass the inspection. First of all, the physical inspection. Then you have to pass the school inspection. You know what I'm saying? We just can't open up a school because you want to open one, you know. But what do you think? Get in the comment section. Let's talk about it. What do you think? Is this a good look as far as Umar Johnson being in charge of everything and running everything? Because if you ask me, he's going to run it in the ground just based off of his past history dealing with women and dealing with people, you know, period.